Welcome to the Scouting Report on LUTV. Leeds United preparing to take on Bolton this Saturday after a 10-day break from action following that win against Swansea. But it's the start of a busy week for the Whites with 3 games in 6 days. Former Leeds defender Ben Parker is with us here in the LUTV studio to look at Bolton a little bit more closely. But, Ben, good win against Swansea. A little break for the players, probably as much mentally as physically, wasn't it?
Yeah, it seems a while ago. I know it's only been, 10 days coming to the last game. So, but yeah, the mental break had done a world of good. Going after the game, 3 points. Yes, it would near the end, but this time of year it's all about collecting the points. But I thought we played well. Really well first half. And the third, fourth goals, it wouldn't have flattered us one little bit. But whilst it's 2-0, the opposition always got a lifeline. But the character was shown at the end. We've seen that throughout the year, but it was valuable 3 points.
Yeah, a good win as well, and especially we looked at the weekend. You know, we were hoping that some of the teams in the Championship might do us some favours. We know that the current Leeds squad aren't looking at the other results. We are, but it didn't happen, did it? Everyone around us won, which we expected to anyway, given the games that they had.
Yeah, I fully expected the teams to win at the weekend, and unfortunately, both got 4 goals. But yeah. That's going to be between now and the end of the season. The only thing we can do is concentrate on ourselves. The players have said that, the management has said that. But it's right, and this stage of the year, just concentrate on yourselves. We've got a massive game coming up on Saturday. It's going to be a winnable game because we're at home. So let's go into that full of confidence.
Now, we know we hear players say it all the time, one game at a time, game by game, and you have to think like that. I understand it. But quite understandably, people are looking at 3 games in a week, and it's quite a demanding schedule because you've got this home game on Saturday, you're down in London on Tuesday to take on QPR, and then you've got the visit of West Brom on Friday night. So, you know, while you might say it's game at a time, would the players be looking at this as a group and saying, well, look, 7 points from these 3 would do us, or how do you approach a week like this?
Going back to the season when we got promoted, we took it in little chunks at the time, so these 3 games in 6 days, going back to when we were doing it, we'd have done exactly the same, take the 3 games, so 1 at a time, so you'd be looking, right, can we get 9 points out of the next 3? Or is it 7 points out of the next 9? So it's all doable. I think it's more mentally easy for players to break down like that instead of like one game. So yeah, first job to do is get the 3 on Saturday, and then the other 2 will take care of itself.
Well, it's a good game to start as well, Ben, taking on a Bolton side, of course, who've been struggling for most of the season. This is the game back in December between the 2 sides, and obviously it was all about Bamford coming off the bench, but you know, this is a game that Leeds should have won by more, wasn't it?
Oh, clearly. You look at the highlights, gone through it all again, and I say, you want too long ago the game, so it was still quite fresh in the memory, but the amount of chances created on top, it was almost like a training session, attack v defence, and you just wanted to get that early goal against Bolton, especially at the stadium, the home stadium. Obviously the atmosphere isn't great around the place at the moment due to league positions, some things going off the field, but this is the big moment. Obviously Patrick coming back off his injury, getting the goal, nice little nutmeg pass from Pablo, and great first time finish, and you can see everyone's so delighted for him. Ran over to Rob Price, the medical staff there, give him a big celebration, but we're unfortunate not to win this game by 2-3 goals quite clearly because the quality were there all to see. But fair play to Bolton, they made it difficult, and they made it a difficult game in the end.
It was the gulf between top versus bottom, and the gulf was shown once again last week in Bolton's last game. You know, we were hoping they'd try and do us a favour. They couldn't do it against a Norwich side, of course, who we know are a very, very competent outfit in the division. But this sort of added to Bolton's woes, really, didn't it? I mean, they're not going to survive, I guess, against games, you know, against teams like Norwich and ourselves.
Unfortunately, not. The golfing class is too big at the moment for Bolton, but their survival's not based on teams like Norwich against us. Yeah, if they can pick up points, it's invaluable in the survival bid. But we should be looking at this game and thinking, well, we're just as good as Norwich on our day. We can easily play just as good as football as they have done. And punish teams like Bolton. So the areas to exploit we'll touch upon that later on in the piece. But they've got so many bodies back at Bolton at the moment. You think there's no space for likes of Norwich.
Well, is it good attacking play or just bad defending? What are you seeing here?
I think it's a little bit of both. Obviously, Norwich are full of confidence. They've got the early goals, so they can pop the ball around. People are trying little things where they probably wouldn't have done. But from defensive point of view, that's so easy. People just stood watching the ball. It's people not communicating, not doing the jobs correctly, and unfortunately, that's been the case throughout the season.
Yeah, and I think Norwich got the scoreline in this game that maybe we should have had against a Bolton side. They're probably looking at the next round of fixtures and probably a little bit concerned. Here's the starting lineups then from both teams' last games. Now, from Leeds' point of view, Ben, we know, of course, Kamar Roof is out for a significant amount of time. The club are hoping, of course, it's not going to be I think it's a case of weeks, not months. But Roof is a big loss, mainly because he's featured every time he's been available. Yeah. He has played for Marcelo Bielsa. So how big a hole is that in the Leeds United team, and who comes in to replace him, do you think?
I think it's a big loss. I think the one thing that Bielsa does in Roof, he trusts him, and I think the players trust him as well, and he's earned the trust. And even the fans as well. The fans have taken to him even more this year, the amount of goals, his work rate. Yeah. I thought between him and Bamford against Swansea, they ran the socks off, the energy, the set, kind of set the tone for the rest of the team. And it's a cliche, it starts from up front, does the work rate, and it certainly did that game. So he'll be a big miss in that. But obviously it opens up a possibility and a chance for someone else to come in. Who's going to come in? Unsure. We don't know what Forshaw's like, how far fitness he's off. You've got people like Roberts as well, who can be pushing in for a start. So now we've got options as well, so that's a big plus.
Could you see Pablo coming into that position, and maybe a Jack Clark, or another wide player coming in, Tyler Roberts, for example? Maybe?
Yeah, I could easily do that. The thing with Pablo, good players can play pretty much anywhere. But the problem that it's not a problem, it's a good problem to have. Pablo and I think Luke Ayling had a great partnership on last Wednesday night. The little bits of movement, Luke Ayling was bombing forward because he knows Pablo likes to tuck in a little bit, and you're just linking up with Pablo so well. So if he does drift in, he'll probably like that, saving less running, following the fullback out wide. So it's good options to have. Now we've got players coming back fit. It's great. It's great for the manager to have these options.
Yeah, they're a few years together now, haven't they? Ayling and Hernandez down that right side. Patrick Bamford scored, of course, a goal against Bolton, probably one of his highlights of the season, which has been hit by injury. There is a sense though that we'd want them both fit, obviously, but if Roof is out and Bamford's come back now, he could be an absolute key player, could he not, between now and the end of the season, because he's a proven Championship goal scorer.
I've always thought he's going to be a key player. From the moment we signed him, I thought, what a great signing that is. And yeah, I've known of him a few years just by watching him and stuff, but I didn't realise how good he actually is until you get up and close and watch him either play, seen with the 23s up and close, see obviously in the first team, seen him training, and his movement's different class. He's a relentless runner, and it's testament to his fitness levels because he's spent a large chunk of the season out. So for the physio department, the conditioning coaches, to get him in peak shape, so he's hit the ground running. And like I say, his work rate, his movement's fantastic, and it's going to be a matter of time. He's going to get goals after goals, and he's one of them strikers. When he does get one, he can go on a big run. All
right, talk us through this Bolton side then. I mean, instantly we can see the kind of five at the back, and the setup here is to try and be solid, keep themselves in a game. It didn't work against Norwich, of course. What's their approach going to be like at Elland Road? Is it going to be to try and hang in there and frustrate us?
I think it's going to be another attack defence. I can't see any other way they're going to go about it, because they get exposed when they're kind of sat deep. So when they're going to go express themselves, they're going to leave too big a gaps. But the problem with the concerning thing for our point of view is they've got individual players that can go and hurt us. There's a guy I'm going to talk about here. He didn't even play. They came on at half time, and by all accounts had a good impact against Norwich in Sammy Amiobi. So, but the likes of David Wheater, Beavers at the back, I've played with these guys, and they're good players. They're good individual players. And you see with Sammy Amiobi, he's the second top goal scorer for Bolton with 3 goals, but he's the person who's been involved in the most with 6 total, 3 assists. So it's concerning for Bolton, because they've only scored 11 goals themselves away from home. So they're the problem. They've conceded 26. But on any given day, give him a bit of space from outside the box. He's got a lethal left foot.
Yeah, he does. He's probably a player who, with his talent, could have played higher, maybe for longer, but he is at Bolton, and he does have a little bit of swagger about him. I think when he's on the pitch, he's got a bit of confidence in his ability. But as you say, 3 goals isn't a great return, but I suppose he is someone that we'll have to be careful about if he starts.
It is one of them individuals where I bet the fans will get so frustrated with him, players as well, probably, because you see these moments of quality with him, and he gets himself in the right place, right time. He's always like thinking positive, trying to get in the right places. But obviously doesn't do it enough. That probably goes for the whole team, but this is the quality it can produce. Yeah, keeper probably should have saved it, but the ball's moving all over, and he's always one of them players where you think is an easy pass or an easy option, but he'd rather have a shot. So he might have shoot from 30 yards, 9 times out of 10 he'll fly to row Z, but on the odd occasion he can find back of the net.
Yeah, they do. Josh Vella as well is another player that I've always thought has performed pretty well for Bolton in previous years. Craig Noonan as well, a dangerous winger. But this is Bolton. This is a problem that they've had away from home this season, Ben. I mean, 11 goals on their travels, it's not enough, is it?
No.
And that would be a concern for Bolton supporters, I guess, coming to Elland Road, where you're going to have some period of pressure, aren't you, in attack if you're going to try and score here.
Of course, they'll know it's not enough, but the last away game, they went to Birmingham City and picked up a valuable 3 points, winning 1-0. Yeah, Birmingham missed a host of chances that game, but they were resolute, they defended, put their lives on the line, and sometimes these games are the hardest ones this time of year because these have got nothing to lose. They're fighting, scrapping for every point possible, and they've got the goal from a set piece. They've got some big lads of Bolton, touched upon Wheater, Beavers, Clayton Donaldson coming in as well. So they can be a threat from set pieces, but like I say, 11 goals away from home isn't the greatest. But on the given day, obviously they've got the goal at Birmingham, got goals at Bristol City, they've gone to Norwich, they've got 2 goals themselves. In Norwich, this is another one there where they're getting bodies into the box, the scrapping around. So if you give them a little sniff, give them something to hold on, as long as the game keeps continuing at 0-0, they'll gain confidence and think they can nick something from the game.
Talk about gaining confidence is where Leeds should gain confidence, not only with their form this season, but looking at the goals that Bolton have conceded away from home. It is a large amount, really. Set piece is slightly vulnerable, but again, it's open play, and that mainly stems, I guess, Ben, from the fact that Bolton aren't a team that go away from home and dominate possession. Not many teams do, unlike ourselves when they go on the trials in the Championship. But Bolton are a team that will try and stick at it, hope for something from a set piece, and be defensively resilient, which doesn't necessarily lead to that when you look at the stats and the goals that they've conceded.
No, it's a confidence thing. When you're conceding goals, you're not picking up results, and away from home it's even difficult because you're sat back. You've got no out ball, being there at times when you're defending for your lives. You're just trying to clear the ball up, hopefully you strike and get hold of, but because there's no one up there because everyone's so deep. It's just relentless wave after wave of
puts a pressure on the defence, doesn't it? Because you think, well, we struggle to score, therefore we're under pressure as a defence, aren't we? If we concede, we're in trouble.
Yeah, and it's one of those nightmare situations where you look at the scoreboard, you think close to half time, there's only 20 minutes gone, you think, oh no, it's going to be a long game, is this? But the concerning thing for Bolton is that they do have numbers around, and sometimes they're just the long ball over the top, and they're in so easy. Like Billy Sharp there showed a bit of strength. You wouldn't say Billy Sharp's the most quickest of strikers, but he managed one ball over top and they managed to get in. See Bristol City here, you expect the big lads at the back to deal with the ball, you expect the midfielders to deal with the second ball, but they win the first, they win the second, so Bristol City on this occasion, and they punish them. But there's been other occasions where teams get set up. This has come from a throw-in. They just work the ball. You think there's no danger. Look,
there's a lot of numbers back there for Bolton.
There's far too many numbers to be conceding a goal, but people are getting tight to people thinking someone else is going to do the job rather than taking command yourself. And it's far too easy to concede goals and score goals against them.
So can that be a problem sometimes when you've got too many bodies back? I mean, it's alright saying I've got numbers back in good position, but have you been in a situation where actually the penalty area is too crowded? As you say, well, there's so many of us back here, someone's going to take charge, and in the end, nobody does.
On certain occasions, it could do, but I just think the amount of numbers you've got there, you expect someone to do the job, or someone to get tight to somebody, someone to take lead, someone to organise, and they've got leaders, they've got organisers in the back four, in the back five, in the squad, but for whatever reason, they're just half a yard off, and people just switching off at key times.
Yeah, well, you talked there about some long balls causing them problems. We saw Norwich turn them over with slick play, which is exactly how we play the game. So it's not like Marcelo Bielsa is suddenly going to go hit a few direct balls, because it's not going to change how we play, is it? We're going to try and have possession. As we see here with the stats from both teams' sort of last 5 matches, Bolton are a team who are used to not having the ball. So it doesn't really, they're not coming here changing how they've set up all season, are they?
Not at all. But in terms of doing it's not going a long ball, but the thing with Bamford in the team, he just make those runs in behind so he can stretch the back 5. So when he stretches the back 5, that's when we get players like Pablo in there, clicking there in the little holes, and they get more time and more space, get on the half turn, and that's when we can start dictating the game. So Bamford's a big plus playing up front with his movement, and it just gives us a different option as well. And you talk about the possession there. When I come here, start playing out from the back, keeper giving it to the wing backs and play from there. So they'll go route one. They'll try and hit the big men up front, try and play for second balls, make it horrible, play for set pieces. But we've been here before. There's plenty of teams that come to Elland Road and try to do that, and we've got the better of them. So Saturday's going to be all about us. Yeah,
it certainly is. To talk about something we've been here before, I'm going to say this because I've said this many times before. Early goal against a team like this in a game like this, because I imagine it's one where the longer Bolton go on, they'll grow in confidence, won't they, that they could get something the closer they get to full time.
Yeah, and similar to kind of the Swansea game, really, it's got the goal around about the 20-minute mark. It was from Pontus, and it was a great time to score a goal with that. It's kind of settled everyone down. We were playing well to that point, but give that goal, you can see the confidence oozing out of the players again. Going to get the second, third and fourth, hopefully should come if we play like that against Bolton. But again, like I said, the emphasis on us. We're at Elland Road, we're at home. We're got a great chance to get 3 points, so take that with both hands.
Yeah, well, Leeds United are taking on a Bolton side who, as we said, have struggled this season. Here are their recent results. But that victory against Birmingham could be very, very important to them. Games between these two sides have normally been tight as well. I think the last 6 games we've won have all been by the odd goal. But, Bolton, I suppose they'd look at it and say, well, we've had maybe a slightly tricky run of fixtures. Maybe the home defeat to Preston is a little bit disappointing. But, they'll be smarting from that game, won't they, against Norwich. And Phil Parkinson, I can just imagine him looking at his fixture list and going game by game and thinking, where are we at next? Oh, Elland Road. Because it doesn't get much easier for them. But, of course, they've got a battle to have. For ourselves, of course, recent results, well, look, they are mixed, but a good win against Swansea, great point against Middlesbrough. Yeah. So we're looking now at a Leeds team that I think, confidence is there. Certainly, you don't get to this stage of the season, do you, without being a confident team. But how much maybe, as we start to get into maybe sort of single-figure games left, does the pressure, do other things kind of sort of be involved and sort of take hold? The sort of mental aspects of it as opposed to the physical side of it.
You say pressure, but it should be excitement. These are the type of games you want to play for this club in. It's the best feeling in the world. I can guarantee you that when you try and fight for promotion, getting to the single amount of games left, you're up there challenging, the fans are buzzing, everyone's just can't wait for these games. So that's the feeling that the boys will have as well, because they've had a few days off, like I said. Physically, they should be fine. Mentally, the mental break, just having a few days off as well, doing a world of good. So I expect a best form of Leeds United on Saturday.
Yeah, maybe I'm talking about pressure for supporters, because we're all biting our nails, because that's just how we've got to be, because of the position that we're in, of course. Leeds United taking on Bolton this weekend. Just finally, and from everything you've said there, Ben, you think Bolton will come, they'll try and be resilient, they'll try and defend, they'll try and frustrate us, but the quality that we have, I guess you feel, will be too much for them in the end. Yeah,
I think we need to be wary about the Birmingham result. I think there'll be lots of kind of videos going this week, looking at that, the players, the staff, just because if you're not clinical enough and keep giving them a bit of a chance, something to hold on for, they've proven that they can go to a difficult ground at St Andrews and pick up 3 points. So that's the danger, but the challenge is go out, express yourself, play with no fear, play with your freedom, and play on the front foot. It's exciting times to play in Elland Road, so go and grasp this opportunity with both hands.
Yeah, exciting week ahead for Leeds United, starting on Saturday then, and of course if you can't be at Elland Road, you can follow all the action on LUTV Live and get your match pass at the website leedsunited.com. We'll be on air in the studio from 2 o'clock. Looking forward to it. Ben, thanks for joining us for the scouting report, and as always, thanks to you for watching.